So you hear all about these legendary founders, right? But what does it actually take to build a company from the ground up? Today, we're going to break down Elon Musk's 5 core rules. Think of it as a blueprint for anyone trying to build something amazing. It's the big question for any entrepreneur, isn't it? And the answer, well, it isn't about some kind of magic formula or just getting lucky. Nope, it's about a very specific set of principles. And for Musk, it all starts with something that's simple, but also incredibly demanding. And what is that demanding principle? Well, it's rule number 1, the absolute foundation for everything else. It's not just about, working hard. He takes it a step further. It's about working super hard. And you see this quote, work hard, like every waking hour. It sounds like something you'd see on a motivational poster, right? But for Musk, this is a literal instruction. It's not just a nice idea, it's the core philosophy, the kind of intensity he believes is absolutely necessary to get a new company off the ground. But what does that really look like in practice? Yeah, this is what it looks like. When Musk and his brothers started their very first company, they didn't just follow this rule, they lived it. Forget renting an apartment, they rented a tiny office. They slept on the couch, showered at the YMCA, and get this, they only had one computer. So they'd code on it at night, and during the day, that same computer was running their live website. I mean, that's just total 100% immersion. And, this whole work ethic thing, it's not just about making sacrifices for the sake of it. For Musk, it comes down to simple math. It's an equation of pure output. Think about it. If your competitor is putting in a standard 50-hour week and you're putting in 100 hours, well, you're going to get done in 6 months what takes them an entire year. You are literally doubling your company's speed of evolution. It's a huge competitive advantage. Okay, so you're working like crazy, but all that effort is completely wasted if it's not focused on the right thing. And that brings us right to rule number 2. You have to build a great product. So what does great even mean? Well, it really depends on the battlefield you're on. If you're creating something brand new, a totally untapped market, honestly, your product just needs to work. The bar is lower. But if you're jumping into a crowded field, one with huge established players, just working is not going to cut it. You have to be so much better. And this is just common sense when you think about it. Why would anybody switch from a brand they know and trust for something that's just kind of slightly better? The answer is they won't. You've got to give them a reason to change. Your product has to be a lot better, a huge leap forward. That's the only way you're going to get them to make the switch. All right, so you're working super hard. You're focused on building this game-changing product. But here's the thing. A product doesn't build itself. You can't do it all alone. And that leads us to the super important 3rd rule, attracting great people. When you ask Musk what a company is, he cuts through all the noise. He strips it down to its most basic, essential form. It's not the fancy office, it's not the logo, it's just a group of people who've come together to make a product or a service. That's it. Simple as that. So if a company is just a group of people, then the success of that company depends entirely on how good that group is. Are they talented? Of course. But do they also have that super hard work ethic we talked about in Rule 1? And maybe most importantly, can they all pull together in the same direction, focused on the same goal? Getting that team chemistry right, man, that's everything. So let's recap. You've got a great team, they're working super hard on a great product. So where do you point all that energy? Where do you spend your money? This brings us to rule number 4. You have to focus on signal over noise. Think of signal over noise as a filter you run every single decision through. The signal is anything that makes your product better. We're talking R&D, manufacturing, design, the real stuff. The noise? Well, that's pretty much everything else. A big one is traditional advertising, basically any effort that doesn't actually improve the thing you're selling. And if you want proof that he actually lives by this, look no further than Tesla. The amount they've spent on advertising is 0. A big fat 0. Instead, every one of those dollars goes back into the product, making the cars better, faster, safer. The whole idea is that if the product is good enough, it will market itself. So this really boils down to one simple, powerful question you should be asking all the time. Are my efforts right now resulting in a better product or service? You can apply this to your company, your team, even your own daily tasks. If the answer is no, well, Musk's advice is pretty clear. You should probably stop doing it. Okay, that brings us to our final rule. And this one is maybe the most urgent of all. It's not so much about what you should do, but when you should do it. And it's a call to action that's based on a simple fact of life. Look, as we go through life, we tend to pick up more and more obligations, right? Maybe a mortgage, a partner, kids. All these responsibilities start to pile up. When you're younger, you have fewer of these. So when you take a big risk, you're mostly just betting on yourself. But later on, the stakes get higher. You're not just risking your own security, you're risking it for your family too. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the best time to take those huge, bold, maybe even scary risks is right now, when you have the least to lose. The message is simple. Do something bold. Don't wait. You probably won't regret it. And there you have it. That's the blueprint. Let's run through them one more time. Rule 1. Work super hard. We're talking incredible intensity. 2. Build a great product, one that's way, way better than the competition. 3. Attract great people. Talented, hardworking, and all pulling in the same direction. 4. Focus on signal over noise. Put every ounce of energy and every dollar into making the product better. And 5. Take risks now. Do it while your obligations are low and the cost of failure is the smallest it will ever be. It's not an easy blueprint to follow, that's for sure. It's demanding, but it's also incredibly clear. And it really leaves us with just one final question to think about. You have the blueprint. So what are you going to build?